teacher girls and boys go to separate school. My name is Ivy, I'm 2 years old, and today I'm going to talk about this problem. So this is a very big problem in this world today. Not very big, but a score problem that have two different types of points of view. Like two different types of point of view arguments each other is about co-school and single-sex school, co-education and single-sex education. So what does that mean? Okay, first of all, let's see on one of the point of view is about single-sex education. What is good about single-sex education? About the single-sex educations, in the single-sex schools, there are only school only for boys and school only for girls. This school is not very common around the world, but in some countries very common, and in some countries it is a traditional for every people. You know what? Learning is very good and it's very important for all of us. But in single-sex schools, they'll have focusing more on what people want to learn. Like for the boys, in single-sex school that only for boys, the education with more focus on the sports, math, science, and the subjects and things that boys need for boys, of course, like that. And in girls, for schools that only for girls, they will teach you like things like music, art, dancing, things that the girls need to, like cooking and a lot more. But in the single-sex educations, students will not be distractions by others different type of sex. Like boys will not be distracted by girls, and girls will not be distractions by boys. What does that mean? Because in the school now, when they grow up, they'll be older. Well, girls will think that, what about boys think about me? And boys will think like, oh, what about girls think like me? Zero like of that. And well, they be distracting and not focusing on the learning. And the like relationship between boys and girls, and like they found love or things like that, and not be focusing on what they're learning for our educations. Yeah, and things like that. So for the single-sex educations, there are boys and girls. We have like different type of educations, and they have different things. They'll not be alone from each others and not be disturbed by others. Like if boys play with boys, they'll be together and not be distractions or not be alone from boys and schools. And in girls' school, they're not be alone and like they be friends with each others, be more friendly with each others in front of boys. And then they like can have different things that can like care for each other. Some problems for girls, they can like knowns and they can have help each others and like take care of each other. So in educations and in schools, make a good relationships and make good relations between others. Yeah, between each friends. But what? In different fields in a co-schools, they are different. In a relationship, in co-schools, they have a relationship, of course, but those relationships and love can have students like have boys and girls know what to do. Like boys know how to behave when doing things with the girls, and girls know how to behave when doing things with the boys. Behave in good ways. That's to know about sex educations and more. Girls and boys are not separate because pupils they are the same, not different things. And in single-sex educations, in a single-sex schools, when you're like a girls that not like to dance, like to wear dress, like to cook, like things that normal girls would do, like that girl will more focus on math, science, more things like a boy doing. They will like cannot be with other girls, like they will feel alone because they're like different. In schools there are a lot of girls like wearing dress, dancing, a lot of things like that. They'll be alone, like this are from the community, from schools, from their friends. And of course in the boys too, boys like singing, like dancing, like to make up more than like doing makeup like for others more than math science. They'll like be distractions and like they're belong in boys school where boys are like to play sports, football, basketball, math science and things like that. They'll be distracted and like be alone when they are focused and they like alone, and sometimes they lead to like sad feelings, and that feelings lead to things that we don't know. It's very dangerous. So in a common schools, schools that girls can always play with boys and boys can always play with girls. They cannot be alone because when girls like playing sport, they can play with boys, and some are girls, all girls like they do, and boys of course can play and doing things, studying with girls and not know what to like. The girls can protect him and the boys can of course they protect each other from the bad comments about what they're doing and their hobbies. And in the girls and boys school, in a single sex school, they can like be alone, and sometimes in all girls school, you know what, girls, we have a very special thing about girls. If you're girls, you know what it is. And in all girls, there are a lot of girls, maybe it's not really comfortable for girls to learn in all girls schools. If you're a girl, you know what it is. And boys, of course. Maybe I'm not a boy, but I know that if we are learning in all boys school, there is something that we may do, like may some problem between boys and boys that we don't know. If you're boys, you know what it is. Alright, and now you see, in the single sex educations, there have problems. In education, always have problems. But in some ways, if you like single sex education and that's good for you, you can choose it. And in like close education, if you think it's true and you want it, you can have it and you can choose that kind of educations. But for me, learning is not about separating or not separating. Is about what you get from learning. Learning is about focusing on what you're learning, and going to school is about what you get knowledge and you get what you need. Knowledge, of course. And because school, it may separate boys and girls and school may not. Well, if both school, you can choose what you want, but I hope that both schools can have the interesting and have the most like things for girls and boys to grow and to be themselves the most if they want to, and just choose what, because I hope that both school, separated or not separated, can have the most things that have things that good for the boys and girls. I don't know what to say it, but well, I hope that both schools can have the most interesting and the best things for students, both boys and girls, to go and learn and to get knowledge and to be the best for themselves. Thank you.